This is the story of a cockney who was unlucky with football pools. I'll tell you all about it. Now, it's very, very difficult for working blokes like me, what ain't been educated at posh schools, to make a bit of dough unless they has a go at that institution what they calls the pools. Now, I've done mine each week regular, like with X's, 2's and 1's, because after all, you never know your luck. And I thought I got 'em licked, because last week I nearly clicked, but I'll tell you how it was I come unstuck. If I'd only put an X instead of 1, I'd be richer by 10,000 quid or more. Yeah, I could have bought a car or some nylons for me ma and lots of things that I've been saving for. To be so near and yet so far, it don't half seem a pity. If only Crystal Palace could have drawn with Norwich City and Everton had lost at home, then I'd be sitting pretty. If I'd only put an X instead of 1. Yeah, I've done my coupons every week for 10 whole years or more, and not a blinking sausage have I won. Till the missus says, "Now, Joe, why not let me have a go? 'Cause I couldn't do no worse than what you've done." "What, let you have a go?" I says. "Well, you ain't studied form. You don't even know what league the teams is in." She said, "I don't care a jot, but I mean to have a shot if I have to pick the winners with a pin," the silly cat. And she goes and puts some 2's and then a 1. All haphazard like and contrary to form. She puts Tottenham to win, then she tells him with a grin, "Well, they must be good, 'cause that's where Dad was born." Well, after a remark like that, I should have just ignored her. But when she says, "If you were stamp," I really could have floored her. And on top of that, I have to buy the blinking postal order. And she's been and put an X instead of 1. Well, I puts the coupons in the post like what I always do. Till Saturday I didn't give a thought. Then a 6:15 before we went off to the flicks, I switches on the wireless for the sport. The announcer bloke is saying, "The league, Division 1. So I grabs a pencil and the Evening Mail, and I checks up on the score like I've always done before, then I comes all over queer and goes quite pale. 'Cause although she put an X instead of 1, my old gal had done what I could never do. With a method calm and cool, she'd been and scooped the pool with me blinking stamp and postal order too. So it only goes to show you that where ignorance is, bliss is. Don't study form, it ain't no good. Just leave it to the missus. She'll make a better job of it with 1's and 2's and kisses. Even though she puts an X instead of 1. What a life. Now, a man named Charlie Wilberforce, who is quite well known to me, has got a most exacting job, I think you will agree. He's working at the Turkish bath. He pummels backs and tums. I'd better let him talk to you. Ah, splendid, here he comes. Good evening, Mr. Wilberforce. Now, will you tell us all about your job?
Yes, most certainly. I'm a body basher working at the Turkish, and body bashing's really my delight. I slap their kidneys and their livers till their torso fairly quivers, and they shout as if I'm putting out their light. For a uniform I sport a towel and plimsolls, 'cause the plimsolls stop me slipping on the glass. And when I slap 'em with my towel, they let out owl after owl. But I must say that it helps the time to pass, yeah. Well, actually, I started life in the baker's shop needing dough. But as time went on, the more dough I needed, the less dough I got. And as I needed more dough for money, I chucked up needing dough to earn more dough needing human bodies that really needed needing, and had the dough to spend on needing if necessary. Now tell me, have you ever slapped a man in the stomach with a wet towel when he's trying to smile and make small talk? If you ever contemplate such a manoeuvre, remember the Boy Scouts and be prepared, because the small talk is liable to turn into big talk, and you would quite likely hear a lot of things about yourself you had never heard before, and most likely would not like to hear again. In a case of this nature, the only thing that will stop any kind of talk, big or small, is a good slap in the kisser with a brushful of soap. Aim for the eyes and mouth, remembering the old English proverb, what the eye don't see, the mouth can't talk about. As you no doubt know, the idea of a Turkish bath is to open the pores and cleanse the body. Now, there's two kinds of pores, and some customers open their pores when they come in, and quite a lot close their pores and their small change when they go out, leaving us poor suckers who have been struggling with their mediocre frames without the price of half a pint of the very stuff we've been washing them in. And finally, absent-mindedness in this business is unforgivable and risky. As for instance, the man working on a homicide slab to me used to work in a fishmonger's shop. And one day he shoved a customer's head between his legs like a white hen and had him half wrapped up in a newspaper before he realised he wasn't back at his old job. So, if you are going to have a Turkish bath, keep your head up and your heels together. And this advice comes to you from a scrubber down of human frames and torsos, a torso slapper with a real jiu-jitsu grab. Whether dustman, duke or devil, they're all on the self-same level when they're lying there before me on the slab. One day I might go in for osteopathy. That's putting bones back in the place where they belong. But until I'm qualified, I will just be satisfied in helping people lose their own bong pong.